Hello and welcome back to the Forgotten City. Last time, well, it's kind of weird. Cause I didn't get a whole lot done really. I tried to like figure out how I could stop the, or maybe not stop the election, but like get Galerius here to, you know, enter it or whatever, and then I went to Malleolus and tried to get him to, you know, quit or whatever or something, but he didn't budge, obviously, you know. Would be a little harder than just saying, hey, don't. But yeah, then I figured out that that guy, the assassin guy, is gonna, you know, come and you know, and try to kill Malleolus, you know. Though that guy Quincicus or whatever his name is, he is
What? Quick, give it here.
he's
I'm just going to
he's gonna stop him.
swallow this. I think she's going to be all right. Galerius, you're amazing. How did you know?
I was just doing what the new lady told me.
I don't understand. How did... Never mind. Thank you so much for acting as quickly as you did. Another moment more and we would have lost her.
Can't stay. Places to be.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said he should do these things. Cause what I want to do, I'm just gonna stand there for a while. Okay.
Salve, Rufius. I hear you've been suffering from rheumatism.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to hear about that, friend.
What? My computer.
Stop that. What?
Business
There's
Weird.
no need for that. I just wanted to give you this willow bark to help you treat it.
A treatment. Will. Thank God. Finally, some relief after all this time. You're a good man, Galerius.
Appreciate that. Now, I've got to run. Salve again, friend. I went and did... How is it possible that you've just...
Busy right now.
Of course. Now.
So he's not busy now. So hopefully that means I can talk to you.
Domitius doesn't usually let it. I like. Well, I am not suffering from any delusions, as today's election will firmly establish. That's quite all right. I trust.
So can I get you to go away? I don't think so.
She's not here. Had to carry her to the...
Like this, I don't know. I don't think there's any way to Like, when I go here and check out this event, and this guy comes out, I figured that would have something to do with it. What if I say this?
I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quintius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood?
I swear I wasn't lying. Got it.
You are not off to a good start. When I ask you a question, I expect an answer. Is that understood?
You're being unreasonable.
I would choose my next words more carefully if I were you. Is that understood?
Got it. I'm not afraid of you.
Then you're of no use to me. Do you have any last words?
You said you wouldn't kill me if I told you the truth. If you find that out, everyone here is going to die. You have no idea what you're in for, do you?
And there's a simple explanation for that. I lied. But if you want to know the truth before you die, here it is. Once I'm done with you and Quintius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates. And I can think of nothing I'd enjoy more.
How many shall suffer for the sins of the one?
There might be more to that. I'm stuck. There might be more to that than I thought originally. So I can tell Sentius about the assassin. Interestingly, that was said there. Maybe I should do that. I'm really just grasping at straws there. Yeah, I don't know. Let's make you not do anything right now. I haven't done that in a while. Make you not do anything. Maybe that changes something somehow.
49 melodies fetch again.
Like if... I don't know. Yeah, I'm just... not sure what to do at this point.
On your best behavior, I trust.
Don't mind me.
There you go.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know.
Yeah.
We have? Wait, I must have entrusted. Is that a Seems rather good. Of course. What is it?
Okay. Let's see.
Well, if you stopped one person from breaking it and you're still here, then there must be someone else about to break it. Still, allow me to explain. When I discovered the ritual to Proserpina, the instructions came with a warning about paradoxes. The crux of it is this. If you do anything to change the course of history in such a way that your very being here is impossible, you will have created a paradox. To illustrate, when the golden rule is broken, I will open the doorway that will bring you here to prevent it from being broken. If you manage to succeed in saving our lives, then I will have no reason to open the doorway, and you will never have come here. A paradox. You see? The same thing would happen if you, say, inadvertently, allowed me to die. If I can't summon you, then you can't be here, obviously. If either of those things were to happen, I am given to understand you would be flung back to your original time, having changed the course of history for us and yourself. So the fact that you are still here means someone is going to break the golden rule, and there is yet work to do. Understand?
I think so.
Excellent. So it looks like you'll have to continue your investigation. I think it...
Fair enough.
If I did, I'd have let these people out of here already. You mean perhaps? Look, the man I will. Ask them. Do you ever what? Me? What? Good. Yeah.
Well, I know Meliodas is gonna.
Why do you say that?
Yeah.
What? I'm speechless. How do you know? Of course, this isn't your first loop, is it? Well then, you must stop him from winning the election. I expect you'll need some kind of leverage on him, but I can't be seen to be involved in this, of course, so you'll be on your own. You better not waste any time. And Miss Wada, goddess of persuasion, go with you.
I'll get right on it. Can I say anyone else? Kind of curious now. Wait, this was not the one.
Why do you say that?
She's shouting, she's selling a way out, but it turns out to be hemlock.
Despicable. But did it break the golden rule?
No, it didn't.
Then it seems the gods are not concerned with her conduct, so she can't be the one you're looking for. It looks like you'll have to continue your...
Let's just go for all of these, why not?
Yeah. Why do you say that?
Maybe something will come of it. I really don't know what to do otherwise. Like, I'm just gonna do everything I can. He's probably asking about the next having medicine. He has to help figure out how to turn people into gold to make money.
When you say he asked for help, you're not thinking of helping him, are you?
Not anymore.
Good. But still, he's been trying to enlist help with this for months. Even if you don't help him, it's only a matter of time before he becomes desperate enough to do it himself. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. But before we proceed, I must ask, are you sure he's the one?
It's him. And second thought, I don't think it's him. Huh. Okay, hold on.
It looks like you'll have to continue.
So,
Of course.
I mean, if I wanted to do anyone, it would probably be him. Like, he's the worst one, obviously. So that's what I'm gonna say if I get the option. But I'm just gonna go through all of these because why not? Let's get some more dialogue, all that kind of stuff, you know. He's been trying to intimidate people into voting for Meliodas. He's been soliciting bribes to allow people to talk to Meliodas.
So I'm told. But while that is distasteful, asking for tributes is not uncommon, so I don't think it's going to break the golden rule. It looks like you'll have to continue.
What is the other thing here?
So I'm told. This is truly atrocious behavior, which undermines the very foundations of our democracy. Thank you for bringing this to my attention.
Hmm.
Ah, it looks like...
Galerius. He's like the least bad one. I mean, he's actively good, I would say. He's an escape state, he's angry and resentful towards, and he's killed before.
You managed to extract all that from him. Well done. And I have noticed his contemptuous stares, but I had no idea he was so dangerous. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Ah, it looks like...
Lucretia.
Why do you say that?
She threatened to scratch the TC's eyes out if she lost another patient because of him.
Well then, you better make sure she doesn't lose another patient, haven't you? Whatever it takes, do it. It looks like you'll have to continue your investigation.
Could that actually happen? Like, if she loses a patient, is that gonna happen?
Yes?
It's Sensia.
Why do you say that?
She seems awfully relaxed about Sentilus's appearance.
You seem to be grasping at straws here. I can assure you, she is most upset about her sister. As am I.
No, you're
Looks
not.
like you'll have to
We know
continue
exactly
your
who
investigation.
kidnapped her.
Now, was there anything else you wanted to ask? Of course.
It's Virgil.
Why do you say that?
At least one resident thinks his sexuality makes him a sinner.
Why? Because he prefers the company of men? Ridiculous. Romans have always been tolerant of such predilections. I simply cannot believe that his innate preferences would break the golden rule. If I were you, I'd be looking for whichever idiot is making those accusations. It looks like you'll have to continue.
Okay, so let's say
Why do you say
Decius. Decius? I don't know how you say that. Also, I can say this.
Indeed. That is abhorrent. And even if doing so hasn't directly broken the golden rule, it's not difficult to imagine this behavior provoking someone to theft or violence. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. But before we proceed...
It's him.
Well then, in that case, as much as it pains me to do so, I must act decisively to ensure the survival of my people. As magistrate, I hereby declare him an enemy of Rome and authorize his execution by your hand, forthwith.
How would I execute him? Will I break the golden rule? I'm not sure it's him. No, I don't care.
I don't believe so, no. It's not a crime to carry out the lawful order of a magistrate.
Fair enough. Don't you need to give him a trial first?
So now you're an expert on Roman law, are you? Listen to me. We are cut off from the empire down here, fending for ourselves on the brink of annihilation. If ever there was a time to dispense with legal procedure, it would be now. Think of it as an act of preemptive self-defense. Think of the lives you'll be saving.
This doesn't feel right to me.
Then perhaps you would prefer the feeling of being responsible for the deaths of everyone in this city. Now is not the time for cowardice in the guise of philosophical introspection. Now is the time for action. You have your order. Carry it out.
How would I execute him?
Any way you can. I would think that bow you're carrying should suffice.
Oh, right, now's a care bit.
Thank you. Please act quickly before it's too late.
Huh.
We'll speak again after
Okay.
you've carried out my order.
Interesting. So he's not the only guy who I can suspect. I'm kind of curious what happens if you do other ones now. Well, let's just go find him anyway and execute him. Like, I have an idea for later, but let's just see where this goes anyway. Let's talk to you first, I guess. Come on.
Salve. Hello there, friend. May I say?
I guess. I guess we're just gonna kill you. I don't know if I used this one or the other one. Not sure if it matters. Alright. There you go. Oh, no, that did indeed. Well, so that didn't work. Interestingly. Okay. So yeah. Okay.
Salve, friend.
Yeah, let's just make you do those things, I guess.
You, Sisyphus, attack.
On your best behavior, I trust.
I'm not sure how like that didn't work at all, and I don't know if it's just because he's not the guy I'm supposed to actually like maybe I don't know if it's.
Why do you say thank
Like,
as magic? Thank you.
so
Oh, another one fresh out of the baths, I take it.
Fear is proof of a degenerate.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
people have things on them. Maybe I should kill a bunch of people and take the stuff. Maybe someone has something that I need. So that didn't work either. I don't know if this is gonna result in anything then, because the moment I kill someone, the golden rule is broken, even though he authorized it, so it doesn't matter that he authorizes it. Unless it's wrong, the person I'm picking, maybe... I don't know.
Alright. I'll...
Oh yeah. How do you tell him about the assassin? I didn't see an option anywhere. Okay, I forgot that was a thing I wanted to do.
Sisyphus, attack.
Really grasping at stars. Really grasping at stars. I mean, I'm getting new stuff technically. Figuring things out. Like it's all about experimentation. This game, you know, it's all about learning. You know, learning new things each run.
We're finally alone. Is that
I broke it.
you broke it?
I've never said that either.
Would you do that?
Execute a suspect on the order. Ah.
And it broke the golden rule? I see. Well, I'm sorry to say this, but it sounds like you must have chosen the wrong suspect.
I suppose so, but you think killing someone else will lead to a different result? I kill all the suspects I can think of. I'm not sure it's going. Not sure doing it again is going to work. Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Of course. We must trust in the wisdom of the gods and their ability to discern right from wrong. Our cause is virtuous, and we will prevail this time. Look, it's unfortunate, but all that matters now is that you make use of what you've learned and gathered, and do better next time. Now, I assume you've sought me out again for a reason.
So maybe I do just need to go through each and every single person. I mean, I guess I can. I guess I'll try it.
Well, if you stopped one, allow the crowd to illustrate. If you the same, if I so, I know what you mean. It feels as if such things were never meant for mortal ears, and it is difficult to grasp. Nevertheless, it looks like you'll have to continue your investigation.
Okay, so how do I get to telling about Quinsicus and all that junk?
Do you what's what? That stupid. If you thus what's it's and
yes I do. Not sure what I'm saying here.
a pointless lie. Please tell me, in your time, what did you
Okay, I didn't see
lie
anything.
all you want? And of course, but we and it is
Makes sense to me.
the key things to remember. I have made my. Unfortunately, there are still. I will be keeping. I'll get the I
don't know how any of these would lead. Just story. I don't know how any of those would lead. How do I tell her about that guy?
I'm so. I.
Yeah, I don't know how I do that. Let me. Could I?
I can't. You.
Well, I can't make him the target. Only certain people can. We start narrow it down a bit. That one, yeah, he didn't work. He's also dead, right? Oh, I said the other guy. I forgot. Whatever.
Yes.
Wasn't it Virgil who dies? Or is it someone else who dies? No, it's... I forgot the name now.
Why do you say that?
That's not someone I can say anything about. Lucretia. Can't say anyone about that.
Why? Thank.
It's him.
As
I can
much-
say him, which...
Thank you.
But again, this is like just gonna do the same thing. Also, he's clearly the one that would be the most, you know, that would most likely cause the golden to be broken if we killed him, because he hasn't done anything wrong really in comparison to anyone else. So it doesn't make any sense, but I will. because it's one of the persons I can kill. Hi.
Salve again, friend.
Like Sisyphus? How so?
Sisyphus was a Greek king a long time ago. For daring to think he could outsmart the gods, he was given a terrible punishment. He was forced to push a great
Did we not
boulder
talk about
up the
this?
hill.
It was white though, so it didn't.
It would roll all the way back down to the bottom, forcing him to start over and over and over again for all eternity. Just like you. Actually, now that I think about it, there are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. Tantalus was made to grasp at fruit on a tree he could never quite reach. The Pleiades had to keep fetching water in a sieve. Oh, and Ixion was strapped to a wheel going round and round forever. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
Yeah, at least that's that.
I don't know which god you managed to upset to get yourself into this position, friend, but you seem all right to me. So, I'll tell you what. I'll keep doing whatever I can to help you. You just focus on finding a way to break the cycle you're in.
Thanks, Galerius.
Anytime, friend. Oh, and if our conversations ever start...
Anyway, I'm gonna have to kill you now. Very awkward. But, you know.
Don't shoot. I'm no threat.
The many
Wow,
shall
go figure.
suffer for the sins of the one.
Yeah, and still don't see how any of that would help. Like, I don't think this is possible to kill someone and get away with it without the golden rule being broken here. So, not sure that's gonna help me. Which begs the question, why? I mean, I'm just not sure what to do at this point, really. What do I do? I really don't know. I really don't know. Maybe there's something to do with the guy, like maybe after he dies I can pickpocket him or something, take something from him. I don't know.
Fabian, listen.
Heavy troublemaker coming into the city.
I know, and I'll take care of it. Just go and hide, but not in the empty shrine.
Wait, how did you know I was headed in there?
No time to explain. Go!
All right, I'll be in my bakery. Thank you, Galerius.
At least when I hear these conversations, because we never did.
Don't shoot. I'm no threat. You'll find what you're looking for in the avenue. Second building on your left. I've got to run.
Thank you. For your service to the Empire, I'll let you live for now, but you'd best make sure our paths don't cross again.
Hey you. Okay, he doesn't care. Let's kill him now, maybe. If you do that, it's like I bring the golden rule. It actually will.
Shall
Interesting.
suffer for the sins of the one.
Got a note. I gotta read that after I don't die here, hopefully. Did I ever read that note before? I don't think I did. Maybe. Well, anyway, I'm gonna check that out later. Maybe I can use that somehow. I really don't know. I'm really trying my best to figure out what I can possibly do to change things. let me see here. Note. That's not it. Bounty notice. I already had this. I had 3 of them apparently. Yeah, I can't give this to anyone though. Anything, can I? If I could, it would have happened, right? I'm really at a loss. And I think I have now assassinated, not assassinated, but executed everyone I could. That Sentius says it's okay to execute. I could execute the other ones, but I mean, I very much guess that's gonna just trigger the golden rule. So not sure that's gonna help.
We're finally. I see you. We're up now.
Okay, I have to say we have this conversation before. One of you could have said otherwise, but you can't. The game forces you to. I broke it. I was trying to save someone's life.
Well, it seems you failed spectacularly. Look, it's unfortunate, but all that matters now is that you make.
I couldn't say that I had done it and it didn't work, but he wanted. That's interesting. Maybe it's because in that one I didn't do it right out, like it wasn't the one I just did because I killed another guy. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Of course. What if?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he said everyone that can be said. This is these 3. So doesn't matter. Like this doesn't matter.
Why then?
So so can you even do this? Is this something you can even finish? Like, but I don't know how to tell him. I went for all the options and I didn't see any that said anything about that, so let me just go through each and every one of these here in case I missed something.
The key thing I have Frank.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I said all this stuff.
The next give
So how?
Allow the crowd to us if I so that.
So what do I do? Need more evidence when we use the name of Candice. Okay. Opiates. I gotta figure that out. And figure out Maybe I just gotta look around some houses then that I didn't somehow before.
Oh, another one fresh out of the baths.
I don't know what to do.
All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm.
Just gonna look for some houses. Maybe I did in fact miss something somewhere. A note. Something. But I don't know how I could have. Because I'm pretty sure I looked at all these houses before. So unless it's very hidden, which it could be. I don't know, but... No talk TV. Known as friend talk TV. I made a lot less in Kiwi. I'm sorry for not was discussing in this video in person, but if I'm right, then you're a believer like me. You may not be able to appreciate what I'm here. I feel like I've read this before. At first fall and again a second.
Oh my, I've never seen a lamp like that. Praise Apollo.
So you got a bright lamp. Who cares?
Indeed, who cares?
Such a bright light. Apollo is powerful here, is he not?
Oh, what's this here? Treatment notes, something. Okay, I guess I'll take that. Why not? Doesn't do much, I don't think, though.
Sorry, was there... But
What can I do? What can I do?
a golden boy, just like Apollo and Diana.
It's so pretty.
Don't know if there's any hidden paths or anything, maybe. Like, it's the only thing I can think of that I would have missed. Because I'm feeling pretty sure I searched most places fairly thoroughly. Oh, I can't unlock that though. Yeah, the shopping list. I guess I could take, maybe as a key if I kill him. Don't think there's anything here. Yeah. Maybe I just gotta look this up and figure out where to go next at this point, because I'm making very little progress and I'm sure I could figure it out eventually, but I also do want to move on with my life. Just note. Alright. I just don't know what to do.
Not bad.
There isn't that many places to look, is there? Did I ever this over here? I forgot. Like, what's this place over here? Oh, not here, but wait, where is it? There was a door or something around here. I don't think I ever went in there actually. Like here. It's still locked, and I don't know how you get in there. Which I am curious about. It could be related to the plaques though, like it's close to where the plaques are. Oh, hi. Wait, oh.
Salve, friend.
We've not talked?
Yeah. Welcome to life under the golden
Hey,
rule.
how have I never met you?
Ghastly thing, is it not? How are you faring so far?
I'm fine, thanks. Feeling a bit on edge. Actually, I think I really need to talk to Orpheus.
Alright, well, it was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
Oh. Oh god.
Oh no.
Wait.
No. Orpheus, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life?
Well, I figured out this now.
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. We're all in this together, Orpheus. Please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
Please, Orpheus. Help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this sort of thing. Please, you need to talk to him.
Oh, well, I'll talk to him. Do you really think his suicide would break the golden rule?
I don't know, but it's a crime for slaves to take their own lives. And a debt bondsman isn't far off.
I'll talk to him.
Thank you.
Orpheus, can we talk? Yeah.
Let me guess. You're going to lecture me on how suicide is a crime against the Empire.
It's wrong, and you know it. I was just going to ask you what's wrong. No, I think it's right to die if you're suffering badly enough.
I screwed up my life. That's what's wrong. I borrowed money, and when I couldn't pay it back, I wound up in debt bondage. I'll be stuck slaving away for that Culus Cumulatis Malleolus for the rest of my life. I am out. Wherever you are.
Oh.
Scintilla, my love.
Well.
I'm sorry.
Orpheus, no!
I tried. Well.
I can't believe he went through it.
Well, we have something to work towards now, at least. Preventing this guy's suicide. Was that my fault? His suicide didn't break a golden rule. What does that mean?
Well, I suppose suppose it means suicide isn't a sin under the Golden Rule. So I guess that means whichever god is responsible for it. It isn't mine.
Was that my fault?
That was not your fault. There's no way you could have given him what he wanted, moments after you arrived.
What happens
I'll
now?
have to let everyone know what's happened. And I guess Malleolus will have to clean up the mess in his villa. It's of his own making, after all. And I'd best pray for poor Ulpius.
How I never met you though. It's so weird. Anyway, I came here to play that. Well, no, maybe the plaques open that up or something. Maybe not the back door. I don't know. Maybe the back door is just a way out somehow. I don't know. Well, at least know where Ulpius is now, because I never really knew. Okay, well anyway, what's your story?
Here, in this place, the magistrate has me earning my keep by cleaning and pruning the gardens. It's not quite how I expected my life to go. I used to live in a lovely villa on the banks of the Tiber. I was even betrothed to a handsome young man from a prominent family. But long hours of menial labour for the good of the community has its own charms too, I suppose.
How did you end up here?
Oh, much the same way as many of the others. When the fires came to Rome, 7 months ago, my family and I fled for the Tiber, hoping to escape on a barge. We were among the fortunate ones with enough coins for passage, but unfortunately, there were a lot of desperate people, and they boarded before we could depart. A scuffle broke out, and I was pushed overboard. The last thing I remember was the water, rising up to hit my cheekbone. I woke up by the river, near that shrine, and stumbled across this place.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, that's all right. I'm sure it's all part of God's plan for me.
What's up, so God? Don't you mean the
Yes,
gods?
of course. A slip of the tongue.
Hmm.
If you like.
Do you know way out of
I'm
here?
afraid not. Although, I did once hear someone gossiping down at Aurelia's tavern about a possible way out. I don't put a lot of stock in such rumours, but if you're desperate and wealthy, you could look into it, I suppose. If that doesn't work, then I suppose we're all stuck here until the gods decide our fate.
I'll look into
I
it.
hope it works out.
What do you think about the Golden Rule?
Many shall suffer for the sins of the one. I think about those words a lot. I'd like to think that if we all love our neighbours as ourselves and do to them as we'd have them do to us, then we'll all be fine. But on the other hand, I was always taught the intent of man's heart is evil from his youth, and that all of us are born with a tendency towards sin. And that's where I get stuck. Is it true? Are we born with a tendency towards sin?
I don't think so. I think people are fundamentally good. Seems that way to me.
You don't think that's a little naive? I suppose you've never seen what I've seen. Innocent men and women, torn apart in arenas while thousands of Romans look on and cheer.
Same way what I said.
I wish I shared your faith.
So, your question?
Please keep that to yourself. I know you're not from around here. Things are very difficult for us right now. There was a terrible fire in Rome last year, and our emperor decided to make us his scapegoats. There were executions. It was horrible.
Secret saving me. Fair enough. I'm looking for one plaque that was removed from the list. Can you tell me where that is?
Even if I had seen it, and I'm not saying
I mean, I already have it.
I couldn't in good conscience give it to you. That's all I'll say.
But the website would like to know about your
What you're
beliefs.
doing is disgusting, and it's not going to work. Shame on you.
Okay.
Even if I had seen it, and I'm not saying I have, I couldn't in good...
Alright. But I already have it, so it doesn't matter. I think so. I think I have the Roman one, don't I? Oh, is that the one I'm missing? No, yeah, it's the quick one I'm missing. Okay, well, I have something to at least do now. So I guess I'll start on that next time. I don't know how long that's gonna take. If it's probably gonna take a few go-throughs maybe of him committing suicide. Because I don't know what to say to make him mad. Anyway, still looking around for stuff. I feel like again I have looked in every house, in every place. Still isn't anything I can do with you.
What? I
I don't know. Yeah.
Isn't the great temple majestic?
Ixion turns.
Oh. Okay, wait. Did I have to keep on? Oh. Anyway, I don't know.
Well, isn't that an impressive and all right. You stay away from my money.
Did I ever read this ever? Or did I forget to? No, yeah, I read this. I'm pretty sure I read that. I'm sure I took it at some point.
Well, isn't that? Unless you want me to slip some
Cerberus lifts his
Jesus.
dribbled head
Get out.
and lets out his
You're really
three-year-old
testy.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
Listen, you're in a world of your own, aren't you?
Capacity to crazy about the dreams I've been having, and she said it might help her to find a meaning if I wrote them down. Had again last night, the man by the river was there, and always his face out in shadow, killing her by him headdress. Haven't I read this? Once again, he introduced himself to Kirsty and told me he dragged him in the river, seemed to smirk as he said his name. I said something I could understand. Indeed, the name rings a bell, but I cannot think of me about it. Doesn't help me now. Oh, hey. That's a penis. That's just straight up a penis. Okay. Incomplete note. This is your final warning, sinner. That's the last thing I needed? Okay. Well, I guess I just now saw that. Okay, well now I can do that as well. Okay. Well, I have a few things I can do next time. Still though, like I mean, doesn't help me with my main quest right now. Is the problem. I don't know. Well, I guess, yeah. Again, kind of a slow one again, and I think if after I do that stuff that I didn't know I can do now next time, after I do that, I might just start looking things up, because, you know, it's gonna take way too long if I just look around on my own, I think, at this point. And I've tried my best, and I can't figure out what the game wants from me at this point, which is fine, you know. It's a game about, you know, looking around a bunch, doing all kinds of things, but, you know, I do have other games to play, and I have beat the game already technically, so, you know, I'm just gonna do what I want to do. Don't want to be here forever, but yeah, that's it for now though. See you next time.